Yo, what's going on, you guys, and welcome back to the Anime Plus podcast. This is your podcast for everything anime and anime related. And today, we got a pretty good one for you guys today. We're going to be talking about some anime mysteries in New Gen that we literally have no idea what the mysteries are, like how they're going to be solved. We literally have no idea. Like they're just really big, imposing questions. And yeah, I mean, that's what we're going to be talking about in this episode. If this is your first time here, I'm your boy Aray, and I'm with my co-host Owen. Owen, see what's up.
What's going on? What's going on, brother? How you been?
I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing, bro. I'm feeling good about this podcast. Firstly, just want to start off. Um, Last week was actually a big week for us. We hit a certain milestone, and that's only due to you guys. Um, it's I'm at a loss of I'm at a loss of words, but yo, thank you guys so much for all the continued support. We appreciate it so much. Like literally, we wouldn't have been this far or been actually doing this long if it wasn't for you guys. If you guys are new here, me and Aray started 1 year ago in November of 2022, and we started it honestly as a hobby more than what we think of it now, more of a community. And just want to say thank you guys so much for the people that stayed along for the journey. And there is about to be crazy stuff happening in the near future. Our Discord's been popping, Insta's been popping, and thank you guys.
Yeah, yo, we hella appreciate you guys for everything, making our hobby a reality and making it fun and interacting with us in Discord and whatnot. But yeah, well, let's get into this podcast episode. So again, we're going to be covering some of the biggest questions slash unsolved mysteries in new gen anime. So I guess the way we'll start this on is we'll go through about five or so of them, and we'll start with one that's not as crazy as some of the other ones. And with each passing one, we'll get crazier and crazier with the mystery. Cool.
Yeah, let's get this. I'm ready to debunk bullshit, bro.
All right, yo, coming in at number five. We'll do five. Coming in at number five. So again, we're gonna get more and more crazier. But the first one we're gonna do is, where did quirks come from? And this is My Hero Academia.
Yeah, okay, so that's a fact, right? Um, I, I don't know if they explained it in the beginning, but they just explained how people just spawned with it. Maybe it's just a magical world, and some people just spawn with it. I don't understand how it's like. They never gave an explanation for the origin, and I think that like is kind of a plot hole per se. Everybody always looks at like anime and they just go along with it. But some anime really go out of their way to actually explain the origins of every single type of like superpower. And I'm just gonna give an example here with One Piece, where um we kind of know the origins, not origins per se, but we know that there is an origin of where the deviled fruits come from. Same with like in Bleach where everybody has their own Zanpakuto and um there's a Soul Society, Soul Reapers, this, that. We really never got an explanation for how quirks came about. What I think, and this is just me remembering from a couple years ago, is that they just said that it was a magical world where some people, where like 80% of people or like 50% of people, I don't remember the exact percentage, but they have superpowers. Some people don't, and most people do, basically. But yeah, I don't know. Do you feel like that's a plot hole?
Kind of, but I feel like it's something that will probably be addressed. So if you remember in the beginning of the series, they're like, oh, it just all of a sudden appeared out of nowhere. It started off with that one baby in China that was kind of glowing a little bit. And from there, it didn't really explain if it was after like the predecessors of that baby, like I guess you can say genetic mutations, and then ongoing birth and all that stuff from that specific lineage of that child, or if it just started happening all over the place. So we really don't know. And I feel like if it was the former, then that would make sense. I guess you could say there's probably something wrong with the genetics there. But if it was the latter, where it just kind of happening all over the world, all randomly, I feel like that would be kind of crazy. And that's something that we would want to know as fans of My Hero. It can't just randomly happen. I mean, I guess you could say it could randomly happen, but it wouldn't be cool. Like we would want to know where it came from. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think context in those type of scenarios is always something that we want, but it's I don't know. Hopefully, we do get some type of closure with this because it is something that is the basis of the whole show. And if they don't give context, it just feels like an empty hole. But um I was gonna say that kind of leads into another one that we don't know the origins of superpowers, but that's a whole nother that's a whole nother anime. But do you want to get into that one?
We can start off with that one, but I want to hear your theory. Like, do you think it's like what where quirks came from? Do you think it's from like a genetic mutation, or do you think there was some other underlying factor? Do you have like a theory on this, or
I'm gonna be super honest.
yeah?
I never thought that deep into it,
Okay,
TBH.
okay,
But um from what you said, like I honestly don't remember the part with where the baby was glowing. This is that I don't remember it, and that's another thing with me. And I addressed this before, where like I will purposely forget shit, and this is something where like it doesn't really like I don't really find it too interesting, so I'll like purposely forget it. But if I had to choose something, the only thing that makes sense is like genetic mutations. Like
okay.
other than that, like it just spawns. I
Hmm.
don't know. It's
Yeah.
not that's not enough for me. I always like things with intricate detail, and I don't know. That doesn't float my boat. So I'm gonna have to go with the genetic mutations.
Okay, I guess you can say that makes sense because if you think about it, Todoroki, his parents had two different quirks, and then obviously when they had a kid, those two quirks combined, and Todoroki spawned or he was born. You know what I mean? So the genetic thing makes sense. It's just the origin. Like, did it come from that one baby, or did it just kind of happen all over the place? And if it did come from that one baby, why do people in Japan have it if the baby is from China? And why do people in the United States? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there couldn't have been that much passing with time. And then also, why do some people not have quirks? I guess. But yeah, I mean, I don't. There's really not much to go off of here, and I guess we're just gonna kind of have to wait and see until My Hero ends if this is something that's explained to us or if this is something that just will never be explained.
Also, one thing is that like, how is there so many different types of quirks to the point where some are physical, some are like not I don't not physical, but like you know how some quirks you can like pull weapons out of your ass, and then there's some
Yeah.
quirks that are like tape, like like the tape dude. Like if it's genetically modified or like genetically passed down, how do those quirks come about? Where it's like they're taking physical objects from the world and making that their quirk. I understand like ice, fire, and the natural elements. But we have so many different types of quirks that it's kind of insane that there's physical like they're taking physical technology basically and adding it to their powers. So that's another mystery. But yeah, let's get into the next one.
All right, so we're gonna hold off on the one that you kind of prefaced beforehand, and because I got a slightly less, I guess you can say a slightly less important unsolved mystery. So we're gonna do that one, and then we're gonna go into yours.
For sure, for sure. Let's get it.
So this one has a lot of different unsolved mysteries. Obviously, in the manga, they are solved, but we're gonna be talking about Doctor Stone. So obviously, the biggest thing is like where, like how, why are all these people turned into statues? Blah blah blah. I mean, we're not gonna be talking about that. We're gonna be talking about something way more important, Doctor Stone, that's never mentioned, and that is who are Senku's biological parents?
Facts, yo. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the guy, not his dad. It's not his dad, but the leader of that group. I forgot who it was.
Yeah,
What
his
what the name was?
his
His
name
name?
his name is Byakuya or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, Byakuya. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that dude looks just like Senku. I
Ah,
don't know, right? Am I right or am I wrong, bro? Like,
dude, he looks exactly like him. And when we found out in the anime that that's not his real dad, his biological dad, we were shook, man.
I'm like, yo, I don't know what type of affair is going on with Senku's mom, but like that looks like Senku's dad to me. Like it's a copy and paste. Um yeah, but there's a ton of mysteries in like what do you call it? In Doctor Stone. I mean, I haven't watched the new season yet, but even from last season, there were like um foreign people that were there when Senku and crew thought it was only them, in the world. That then we also have like the whole explosion and how everything went back in time. Like that's also another mystery. That's the biggest mystery in the show by far. Like this whole show is honestly a big ass mystery, and um, I think Senku's parents is on the lesser side of the mysteries. Wouldn't you? Would you agree?
Yeah, I know. I was totally joking when I said this is the biggest mystery, but it's like apparently, like obviously the manga ended, so manga fans know exactly like the biggest mystery, as you said earlier. They know the conclusion to the story. They know where the statues came from, how it happened, and all that stuff. But apparently, the author of Dr. Stone said that this mystery of who his parents are is kind of irrelevant to the story. So he kind of just left it on that note, meaning that nobody knows. So it's literally unsolved, even in the manga. And I guess we're just gonna have to make shit up on our own or choose to
I
believe that it is
I don't
what.
know. I feel like that's some bullshit, bro. Like, what do you mean it's not relevant to the story? Like, what? Like, we want to know where the origin story of the MC. We just know that he's a smart ass dude. Like, where did he learn all this shit from? Who's his parents that like, maybe his dad was a super smart scientist. Like, how did he get the brains to, you know, do the shit that he does? I think that I don't know. It might be lazy writing. It might be irrelevancy. But I don't think that irrelevancy is justifiable for not giving us an origin story of the fucking MC. You know what I mean? Like it's the MC here. We're not talking about some random ass dude. We're talking about the main character of the story. And the fact that we don't know his origin story and where he comes from, who his parents are, how he was raised, any of that, obviously like in the grand scheme of things, it's irrelevant, but we still as people that enjoy Dr. Stone and the characters of Dr. Stone, I think that's pretty bullshit. But what are your thoughts?
Honestly, I agree with that just because, like you said before, it's the main character, but he's also a lovable character, you know what I'm saying on? And it's like you want to know more about the main character and the character that you enjoy, you know what I mean? So it's like sure you can say like Byakuya is like his real father, adopted father, whatever, but we also want to know like why was he adopted and why like where was his parents and who are his parents and why was he in that situation and is he smart because of the way he was fascinated in things or is it because his biological parents were like you said before maybe they were a scientist or you know what I mean like there's so much that we're left wondering as fans of Dr. Stone and fans of Senku and it just makes it kind of sucky to not know exactly the full story behind Senku, the main character. So, yeah, I definitely agree with you on like I kind of wish we knew more about it, but I guess we're gonna have to chalk this one up to irrelevancy, lazy writing. But I don't.
Yeah, like what the fuck is irrelevancy, bro? Like that's bullshit. Like
I just want to know, man.
like we care deeply about the character. Like obviously like okay, maybe it doesn't interfere with the actual plot and storyline of Dr. Stone and the way it progresses. Yes, it's not going to be relevant in that sense, but it's irrelevant in terms of having context. And I don't know, it just feels like a hole. Like it just feels like a big ass hole that we're missing in the story. And Mans was like, "Yeah, fuck it. It's just not relevant, so I'm just not gonna I'm just not gonna write it. Screw it." That's what it feels like to me. It just feels pretty backhanded and pretty bullshit. But nevertheless, I mean, Doctor Stone is an amazing anime. Um, like the amount of progression, the dopamine hits you get, the characters are lovable. Um, a lot of things, even though they don't make sense, because it's like the new season of a Fortnite map, right? The whole map is gray, and then as the story continues, we start unlocking portions and parts of the map, and I love that about Doctor Stone, but it's like keeping Tilted Towers gray. Like we don't know what a huge chunk of it is. But yeah, that was my analogy. I hope y'all y'all understood in Fortnite terms. But yeah, let's get on to the next one.
All right, that's fair. All right, so next one is another origin story. This time around, we're going to be talking about one of the most popular anime out there. course, no conclusion yet, but we're going to be talking about JJK, and I guess the unsolved mystery here is what is Sakuna's origin?
Facts, right? Like Sakuna is not the main character, but he has distilled himself inside of the main character. So he is one of the main characters in JJK, and if not the strongest, like if he is the strongest character as of now, as of what I know, like Sakuna is the strongest character. He's also, you can call him like the king of the demons, if anything. But how did it all start? Like who, like did he create like demons? How did this whole thing I mean, I know cursed energy started from like like just humans in general and their negativity, depression and all whatever. But how does that equate to Sakuna? Because that is a huge mystery. And Sakuna is honestly a lovable character. I love Sakuna, bro. Dude's a badass. He actually saved the shit out of them in season two, even though like yes, he did destroy like half the city, and he did like kill so many people in front of Itadori and whatnot. He low key is making Itadori a badass, in my opinion, and giving him actual character development. But where does all this destruction come from? How did he become the strongest? I also had that same like yearning for information when they just said that Gojo was the strongest. Like in season one, when they said Gojo was the strongest, and they gave us no context on how he became the strongest, who else is like his rival, like is this guy really like the strongest? Also, you know my opinion on people just being retardedly OP. Like I don't like that, but the fact that they actually gave us some context in season two, that really cleared the air for me. And maybe I don't know, I haven't read the manga for JJK, so I don't know if they explain Sukuna's origin or backstory, but that's something I would definitely want to know as a JJK fan for sure.
Yeah, so I haven't watched season two actually, and I haven't read the manga obviously, but just from the first episode alone, I wanted to know like what made this character strong. Like why was everyone so afraid of him? Why do his fingers possess so much power? Like what the like you know what I mean? Like what's causing all this? And it's like there's got to be a badass origin story. If it hasn't been revealed yet in the anime or the manga, you already know it's about to be something crazy. And if it's not mentioned, bro, that would actually suck because it's like you can't just spawn a strong ass demon out of nowhere or whatever you want to call it. Is it a demon or what are they called?
For spirits, I think in this.
Spirits. Yeah, whatever. You can't just have one of these out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like the origin story is unsolved as of right now, from what I'm gathering. But we gotta know, man. It's literally a huge plot point to JJK, and it's like we have to know it before the series ends because then it could be a botch right here. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Yeah, that's also like he's not one of those low level cursed spirits that are just like made from like depression and just human indecency and whatnot. He is the strongest demon or cursed spirit. That's that's like I don't know. Is he the first cursed spirit? How does that work? And has there been cursed spirits of the same caliber as him? Like we know that these high end characters like the Mahito and the volcano guy, forgot his name, Jogo I think. Like they're calculated as like five fingers or like six fingers. Like bro, what? We need to know if there's any other curse spirits at the same, rank as Sukuna. If Sukuna was the first one, um, how so much cursed energy got collected in the first place that it created such a high, um, like deadly, what do you call it? Cursed spirit. There's a lot of mysteries, and I hope to God that they actually let us know what's going on because they did that with Gojo, so I do have some type of faith, and maybe we figure it out once Itadori eats all 20 fingers. You never know.
Yeah, no, this is something that we need to get before the series ends, and I'll stand on that. But with that being said, you want to hop into the next one on?
Hell yeah.
All right, so coming in at number two for biggest unsolved mysteries in next gen, new gen anime, we've got a Spy Family tribute over here. We got who gave Anya her telepathic abilities because we know that she wasn't born with telepathy. She was known as Subject 007. So obviously, some human experimentation over here. Like, what organization is running this? You know what I mean? Like, where did this ability of hers come from and why and who? And like, is this like one of the governments doing this? You know what I mean? Like, it kind of reminds me of Stranger Things where they kind of did that to 11, but yeah,
No,
it's just
facts, facts.
right. It's just a
Yeah,
little
I was
uh,
gonna say that was a great comparison.
yeah, right. That's what it reminded me of when I first saw it.
Yeah, so it's like it's a complicated situation because okay, we know that all these guys are weird in their own right, but Lloyd, he's just a spy, you know? He's not anything supernatural. He's not he's not like something out of the ordinary or created in a lab. So we do understand him. Um the mother, she's just a demon. Like, I honestly love her, bro. She is elite at just fighting her raw strength. Um but Anya is just a mystery. Like, we don't know what. Yeah, exactly. Like, we don't know who did that to her. Firstly, her and the dog. The dog is also like he could tell the future. So like those are two subhuman superpower things. They're not. They're like it's not like super strength that she had to train or something, or like she's an assassin, so she's just skilled. But it's like something that is literally supernatural in a natural world, and the people that can do that, bro, they could probably do it. They could create an army of Anyas, and we don't know who they are, what they're capable of. We just know that Anya is a result of them, and that dog. I love that dog too. He's a result of them too, and the power that they possess is huge, and maybe it connects to the story. But yeah, another big hole that is just left out there. Hopefully, they honestly do go over it though. This
Yeah.
is it's like Spy Family is not too old. It's what, 3 seasons. It's not too long either.
Yeah.
So this is something that can be stated in the future, but let's just hope they do it.
hmm No, honestly, when he said Army of Anyas, I thought that shit was kind of funny, bro. Could you imagine?
Yo, that'd be sick. Imagine um like Anya's, but they're all like mad strong, like
Yo, for
assassin level,
real.
like assassin level
Imagine,
Anya's.
bro, all three of them combined, bro. That shit would be OP.
Bro, that's the one thing I'm like, yo, if all three of these guys knew exactly who they were and they weren't like hiding that part from each other, they would honestly be the dream team. Like, you have one guy that is perfect in any scenario that is thrown at him. Then you have someone that is literally a one-man army that can wipe out whole organizations of talented assassins by herself. And then you have someone that has the information of everybody, you know? All she has to do is go near them and she can hear exactly what's going on. So you have the UAV, right? With Anya.
Maybe.
And then you have literally like the AC-130 slash chopper gunner with the mom. And you have an all around like just super soldier with Lloyd. So, and then also you have Future Sight with the dog. And imagine all four of them knew exactly what they were doing. That would literally be the dream team. But that kind of like builds the element of Spy Family and how that works. And I love the dynamic of it.
No, 100%. I mean, it's something that would literally be like a cool like a boss fight if they all find out somehow and then they whatever save the two governments from fighting or whatever it is, whatever the case may be, or maybe they even fight whoever did this to Anya. I don't know. I feel like that would make it a cool little plot point. Again, I haven't read the manga, and neither have you, Owen. So it's definitely going to be an interesting watch for when we finally get the reason or behind all of this. You know what I mean? But yeah, you want to head into the last and final one?
Hell yeah, let's get it.
All right, so this last one is from Attack on Titan, And this is probably one of the most annoying unsolved mysteries in all of anime, especially new gen anime. And that's, where did that weird shining centipede thing come from? Because that's a huge plot point inside the entire AOT verse. And it's like we have zero answers for where it came from.
Yeah, so um my feelings about this is okay, there's two paths that I could take because they didn't like give us any context relating to that caterpillar thingy. We did see at the end of AOT that somebody did go walk into there again. So maybe they're planning some type of like sequel, and then maybe they're gonna explain that in the sequel. That's one, path. And the second path is, bro, that's bullshit, bro. They gave us no context on how Titans even started in the first place. They were just like, so Titans come from this, and this just spawned in a tree, and that's it. I think AOT, it's one of the best anime out there. Um, Literally regarded by like tons of people that it's one of the best anime. It has amazing story, amazing fights, amazing characters, and I mean, out of all those things that I mentioned, I think the story slash plot line being the best is where it carries, and the fact that there's no origin, that kind of just like it makes it bullshit. There's a big hole in the story, and I feel like people really just overlook that part of AOT when they criticize AOT. Obviously, like I love AOT and I love everything about AOT, but this one point I can definitely criticize heavily, and it is bullshit. Like I feel like, and I'm going back to One Piece on this, is that everybody nitpicks One Piece. Like everybody will like say, "Oh, it's too slow. It's this. It's that." But the one thing I have to say about One Piece, and obviously like I'm a huge One Piece fan, so I will say anything that brings One Piece in a good light. But the context that One Piece has is unmatched. We know everything about everything. And even if it's not given to us yet, they give us hints that it will be revealed in the future or it will be talked about or we will understand it later on. The They did not do that with AOT. They just gave us some bullshit and they were like, figure it out or like it's just irrelevant. So yeah. I mean that's a huge thing that's one part that I could say is negative about AOT. But other than that, amazing, like a 10 out of 10 show.
Yeah, no, I agree 100% with you on. It's just like when you have such an intricate plot where things really tie in together, and it's regarded as one of the best anime of all time just because of its plot and the way things tie in together, and just overall like how how it was curated. You know what I mean? Like we have things from the first season that really tie into the last season. One of the most important ones is, like what's the exact thing? It's like from me to you 2,000 years later or something like that. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. How all those small little details really combine and work together. And then you just got this out of nowhere. Like, oh, shiny centipede. This is what the power came from, and we don't know anything about it other than it came from a tree. So yeah, it does suck to not know exactly like the full extent of what this is, and like like why this is, you know what I mean? Like we got every single answer that we had regarding Attack on Titan. We all wondered about where the Titans came from, who the outsiders were, why are Titans here, and everything that you can think of other than this small little centipede, or I guess it's a big centipede. And that should just irk me because I want to know, man. Like I'm just trying to know stuff. You feel me? At the end of the day, I guess you don't really have to explain it all the way. The story itself was still great. It's one of the best anime of all time. But yeah, it just irks me a little bit. You feel me on?
Yeah, no, it irks us even more, I would say, is because the fact that this storyline was perfect. It was like there was no holes. It was to the point where they really like, especially that last episode, there were so many like little holes that they had to like fill in, and they filled it in like so nicely. The one thing about Attack on Titan is that it was always something that kept us in a veil of mystery, per se, as in we never knew what Eren was thinking. Aaron always had his like his own motives, and we just had to like figure that out. We didn't know too much about um the Ackermans and how that whole thing started, and then they gave us the context. It's what I'm trying to say is like Isayama always put us in scenarios where he'd put a blanket over our head, but told us it's gonna be all right because
Yeah.
everything will make sense at the end. But the biggest thing that like the origin of Titans, and that's the biggest like mystery. He was like, "Fuck it, boys. You're gonna be in that blanket. I'm not telling you guys shit." That's like what it was, and the whole thing about Isayama always shedding light upon those mysteries is what made Attack on Titan the show it was. Like the difference between Attack on Titan and a lot of other shows is the way they masked the mysteries and told us how everything happens. And Attack on Titan is one of those animes that it's a whole new, completely different like concept. It's not like demons, curses, pirates, like pirates as in yes, it's a very like surface level like like theme in terms of you're not adding something completely new. Like Titans, the way Titans worked, how they looked, what they were was something that we have never ever seen in our life before, and it was something um that was a mystery, but they gave us good context to get us through. But they just left the biggest point of it as a mystery, and we never know. Maybe Isayama's planning some like prequel, sequel, light novel, something to explain it. But hopefully he does. You know. Other than that, though, I can't really complain about AOT because for 10 years straight, it brought us like nothing but great content. So, I could bitch about this one thing, but it's one of the best animes out there for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Honestly, I don't think we'll ever find out exactly where it came from, which is fine because overall, great anime. Small little detail, even though it had played a huge part in the anime, but I guess it is what it is, right on?
Yeah, I mean, bro, the anime was just elite. Like
Yeah.
straight up, it was just elite and just I don't want to bitch about it because it was that good of an anime. And it's already over. It is what it is. Isayama brought us literally one of the best anime possible. Thank you for your work and it is what it is. We can't get it. So I'm not going to bitch about it more. That's it. That's my last final things about AOT before I get an army of people with pitchforks outside my house, bro.
I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but we found this article online, and I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can check it out for yourselves. So this is where we got a majority of our unsolved mysteries. So quick shout out to the author for coming up with these. Obviously, these are some really, really big plot points and biggest unsolved mysteries. But I just want to say, make sure you guys join our Discord. Link will be in the description, and you guys can let us know your takes on these mysteries and on like what you guys think the theories are behind these. Like, who are Senko's biological parents, or where does Sakuna come from, or any of these ones, or even some other ones. So again, make sure you guys join our Discord, and we'll definitely look forward to talking to you guys about that. I also wanted to mention our sponsor, DropClick. Oh, do you want to talk about DropClick before this video ends?
Yeah, so quickly, DropClick is just to give you guys a overview. We sell mouse pads and keycaps from the PC side. If you guys want to spice up your setup, spice up the place that you're at the most, definitely go check out our website. We have tons of mouse pads and keycaps. A lot of them also are matching designs, so it kind of themifies your space. And if you guys are FPS players and you play, games like Fortnite, Apex, Call of Duty, any of those, we do sell trigger stop attachments that are fully retractable. They basically allow you to aim, shoot, and react quicker. Honestly, me saying this over like a voice, it's not the most comprehensive, but definitely go check out dropclick.com to see what I'm talking about when I'm talking about trigger stops, and use code anime plus for 10% off.
Facts, yo. All right, yo. Appreciate you guys for listening to this episode, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode of Anime Plus. Peace.
Peace.